The quantum sensors aboard the Lunar Defense Station picked up the anomalies first. 7 massive objects decelerating from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Commander Elena Santos watched the holographic display with steady eyes as data streams confirmed what humanity had both feared and anticipated. We were no longer alone. Multiple vessels detected, largest measuring approximately 30 kilometers in length, reported Lieutenant Wei from his station. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. Elena's fingers tightened almost imperceptibly on her command chair. After 15 years of leading Earth's defense forces, she had run countless simulations of first contact scenarios. None had involved ships of such overwhelming size and power. "Send the standard greeting package," she ordered, following established protocols, "and alert all Earth Defense Force vessels to maintain current positions, but power up weapons systems quietly." The response came within minutes, a transmission that caused every quantum computer in the lunar base to temporarily crash. When the systems recovered, a face appeared on the main display, humanoid but distinctly alien, with iridescent scales instead of skin and eyes that seemed to shimmer with their own internal light. Sentience of Earth, the alien spoke in perfect English, clearly having decoded their language from the greeting package. "I am High Commander Zarkax of the Arcanian Empire. Your system lies within our designated expansion zone. You will surrender your planets and resources to Imperial control. Resistance will result in your extinction." Elena allowed herself a small smile. The Arcanians had made their first mistake. They had assumed humanity would respond to threats like every other species they had encountered. "This is Commander Elena Santos of the Earth Defense Force," she responded, her voice steady. "We acknowledge your presence and request time to consult with our planetary leadership regarding your demands." The alien commander's expression showed what might have been amusement. "You have 6 Earth hours." As the transmission ended, Elena was already sending encrypted quantum signals to every military installation in the solar system. The Arcanians' second mistake had been giving humanity time to implement Protocol Omega. Over the next 6 hours, the surface of Earth appeared to erupt into chaos. Mass evacuations, military mobilizations, and what looked like widespread panic. The Arcanian fleet watched with satisfaction, interpreting the activity as the desperate flailing of a primitive species. They didn't notice the subtle quantum fluctuations emanating from research facilities across the planet. They didn't detect the millions of neural interfaces being activated in underground bunkers. And most importantly, they didn't understand that every human ship, weapon, and defense system was being integrated into the largest consciousness network ever created. When the 6 hours expired, High Commander Zarkax reopened the communication channel. "Your time is up. What is your answer?" Elena stood, her neural interface now connecting her not just to her base, but to every human defender in the solar system. "The people of Earth have a message for the Arcanian Empire," she said, and then smiled. "Come and take it." The Arcanian ships launched their first strike exactly as predicted, a massive energy barrage designed to overwhelm planetary defenses through sheer power. But humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, not through building bigger weapons, but by fundamentally changing how we fought. As the alien energy weapons approached Earth's orbit, they encountered something unprecedented. The quantum neural network allowed human operators to coordinate with perfect precision, creating overlapping defense fields that adapted in real time. Each human ship and station became part of a larger consciousness, moving and reacting as one. The Arcanians' initial barrage scattered against defenses that shifted and reformed faster than their targeting computers could track. Their massive ships, designed to overwhelm through superior firepower, suddenly found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to predict their every move. "Impossible," Zarkax muttered as his first wave of attacks dissipated harmlessly. "Their technology is primitive. Their ships are inferior. And that," Elena broadcast across all frequencies, "is your final mistake. You judged us by your standards, by your way of thinking. Humanity doesn't need biggest ships or the most powerful weapons. We have something you've never encountered before. True unity. As if to demonstrate her point, Earth's defense fleet began to move. Hundreds of smaller ships, each individually no match for an Arcanian vessel, flowed like water around the alien formations. They struck with perfect coordination, exploiting gaps in shields that lasted for microseconds, hitting vital systems with surgical precision. The first Arcanian ship fell within minutes, its massive hull broken not by overwhelming force, but by thousands of precisely coordinated strikes. As its quantum core went critical, the entire alien fleet realized they had gravely underestimated their opponent. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was about to show the cosmos what happened when you pushed a species that had spent its entire history learning to overcome superior forces. The Arcanians had brought size and power to the fight. Humanity had brought innovation, adaptation, and a unified consciousness that turned our entire defense force into a single, evolving entity. As Elena directed the defense through the neural network, she felt the collective determination of every human fighter, engineer, and tactician flowing through her. The Arcanians had wanted Earth's resources, but they were about to learn about humanity's greatest resource, our ability to transcend our individual limitations and become something greater than ourselves. The stars themselves seemed to watch as humanity's first interstellar war began, and the cosmos was about to learn what true fear meant. Not fear of superior weapons or overwhelming force, but fear of a species that refused to be conquered, that adapted to every challenge, and that had turned unity itself into the ultimate weapon. Dr. Maya Sharma stood in the heart of quantum control, 3 kilometers beneath the Himalayan mountains, watching humanity's greatest secret unfold across her holographic displays. The neural network that connected Earth's defenders pulsed with activity, millions of minds working in perfect synchronization. Neural coherence at 99.8%, reported her colleague, Dr. James Chen, his own neural interface glowing softly at the base of his skull. The network is stable and expanding. Every defender who joins makes it stronger. Maya nodded, remembering the day 15 years ago when she had first theorized that human consciousness could be linked through quantum entanglement. Everyone had called her crazy then. Everyone except Admiral Helena Santos, who had seen the military potential immediately. The Arcanian fleet regrouped after their initial losses, forming a tight defensive formation that would have been impenetrable to conventional attacks. Their energy shields overlapped, creating a fortress in space that had probably conquered countless worlds before Earth. But Earth's defenders weren't fighting conventionally anymore. Through the neural network, Maya felt humanity's collective consciousness adapt and evolve. Ideas flowed faster than words. Battle plans formed and reformed in microseconds as millions of minds contributed their expertise simultaneously. The network was becoming more than just a communication tool. It was turning humanity into a new kind of entity. "They're launching their second wave," James announced, his voice tight with anticipation. Multiple capital ships moving into strike positions. The Arcanian attack was magnificent in its raw power. Energy beams that could vaporize mountains, kinetic rounds that carried the force of nuclear weapons. But to the networked consciousness of humanity's defenders, they might as well have been moving in slow motion. Earth's smaller ships danced through the barrage, their movements choreographed by the collective processing power of millions of linked minds. Each vessel became an extension of the whole, moving with impossible precision. Where the Arcanians saw targets to destroy, the human network saw patterns to exploit, weaknesses to probe. Their targeting systems rely on predictive algorithms. Maya observed through the network, the thought instantly shared with every defender. But they can't predict what we'll do because we're not thinking like individuals anymore. The proof of her words played out in space. A squadron of Earth fighters executed a maneuver that should have been impossible, their ships moving in perfect coordination to slip through a gap in the Arcanian shields that existed for less than a second. Their weapons struck with surgical precision, guided by the combined expertise of thousands of engineers who understood exactly where to hit. another Arcanian capital ship erupted in flames. In their command ship, the Arcanian leaders were beginning to feel something they had never experienced before: doubt. Their sensors showed them something that defied their understanding of physics and biology. The human ships were moving and reacting faster than organic beings should be capable of, displaying a level of coordination that shouldn't be possible without a centralized control system, which their scans insisted didn't exist. "Submit your analysis," High Commander Zarkax demanded of his science officer. "How are they doing this?" The science officer's scales shifted colors in distress. "Unknown, High Commander. Their technology is inferior to ours in every measurable way. Their weapons are primitive, their ships are fragile, their defensive systems are basic, but they're fighting as if they share a single mind. Impossible. No species has achieved true neural integration. The biological barriers are only barriers if you think like an Arcanian." Maya broadcast on all frequencies, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's unified consciousness. "You see technology as a tool to impose your will on the universe. We see it as a way to transcend our limitations." The neural network pulsed stronger, and Maya felt humanity's collective consciousness reach a new level of integration. Ideas and innovations that would have taken years to develop were emerging in seconds as millions of minds worked in perfect harmony. Through their shared consciousness, humanity's defenders began to implement strategies that no individual could have conceived. Ships moved in four-dimensional patterns, exploiting quantum principles that the Arcanians had never considered applying to space combat. Each human vessel became part of a larger dance, a deadly ballet choreographed by the combined tactical genius of the entire species. In the Himalayan bunker, Maya watched as her life's work transformed the nature of warfare itself. The Arcanians had expected to find a primitive species fighting with crude weapons and basic tactics. Instead, they had encountered something unprecedented: humanity's full potential unleashed through perfect unity. "They're pulling back," James reported, monitoring the enemy fleet's movements, regrouping at the edge of the system. Maya nodded, feeling humanity's collective satisfaction tempered with grim determination. The Arcanians weren't retreating. They were reassessing, preparing to bring even more force to bear against this unexpected threat. But with every passing moment, the neural network grew stronger. Humanity's shared consciousness evolved further, and new possibilities emerged from the combined creativity of billions of minds. "Let them come," Maya thought into the network, the sentiment echoed by millions of connected minds. "We're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting to show the galaxy what humanity can become." As the Arcanian fleet regrouped in the darkness of space, humanity prepared for the next phase of battle. The neural network hummed with potential, each connected mind contributing to humanity's evolution. The Arcanians had wanted to conquer Earth, but instead, they had become the catalyst for humanity's transformation into something the universe had never seen before. Admiral Marcus Chen stood on the bridge of the EDF Hyperion, Earth's newest battleship, feeling the power of humanity's collective consciousness flowing through him. The neural network had evolved beyond anything its creators had imagined, turning the combined minds of Earth's defenders into something approaching a singular intelligence, while maintaining each individual's unique perspective. "The Arcanian fleet has finished regrouping," his tactical officer reported, both verbally and through the network. "They've brought in reinforcements. 23 additional capital ships have arrived." Marcus absorbed this information along with the instant analysis of thousands of military strategists connected to the network. The Arcanians had doubled their fleet strength, but numbers weren't everything. Through their shared consciousness, humanity had learned more about Arcanian technology in hours of combat than they could have discovered in years of conventional study. "Begin Phase 3, Marcus commanded, the order rippling through the neural network. Across the solar system, humanity's defenders moved with perfect coordination. The Arcanians watched as Earth's fleet split into smaller groups, a move that should have made them vulnerable. Their tactical computers calculated a 99.9% chance of victory if they pressed their advantage now. High Commander Zarkax gave the order to attack, confident that superior numbers and firepower would prevail. That's when humanity revealed their next evolution. The neural network had allowed Earth scientists to make a breakthrough in quantum field manipulation. As the Arcanian fleet advanced, humanity's ships began generating overlapping fields that bent not just space, but probability itself. Impossible. Zarkax roared as his fleet's energy weapons scattered harmlessly around their targets, the beams curving away as if reality itself rejected their presence. No species has mastered quantum probability manipulation. You're still thinking in terms of technological advancement. Marcus broadcast, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's unified understanding. We're not advancing technology. We're evolving beyond its limitations. Through the neural network, every human ship became a focal point for quantum manipulation. The space around Earth's fleet began to ripple with possibilities, each vessel existing in multiple probable states simultaneously. The Arcanian targeting systems, designed to track objects in normal spacetime, found themselves trying to lock onto ships that seemed to exist in several places at once. But humanity wasn't just defending anymore. Deep within the Himalayan Command Center, Dr. Maya Sharma and her team had made another breakthrough. The neural network wasn't just linking human minds, it was beginning to interface with the quantum fabric of spacetime itself. Execute Quantum Strike Protocol, Marcus ordered, and humanity's counter-offensive began. Earth's ships accelerated, their movements guided by the collective understanding of quantum mechanics shared through the neural network. They didn't just move through space, they moved through possibility, appearing where the Arcanians least expected them, striking from angles that shouldn't have existed in three-dimensional space. The Arcanian fleet's formation began to break apart as they tried to counter attacks that defied their understanding of physics. Their massive ships, designed to project power through overwhelming force, found themselves unable to target an enemy that seemed to exist in multiple states of probability simultaneously. Through the neural network, Marcus felt humanity's collective consciousness reach another threshold. The quantum fields generated by Earth's ships began to synchronize on a deeper level, creating patterns in spacetime that the Arcanians couldn't begin to comprehend. Each human vessel became a nexus of possibility, their movements choreographed by the combined intuition of billions of minds. "Their shields are adapting," reported the tactical officer. "They're trying to compensate for our quantum manipulation." Marcus nodded, feeling the network already developing countermeasures. The beauty of humanity's approach wasn't just in the technology. It was in their ability to evolve and adapt in real time. Every action by the Arcanians was analyzed by millions of minds simultaneously, solutions emerging faster than any individual could have conceived them. "Implement strategy pattern Delta," Marcus commanded, the thought flowing through the network like lightning. Earth's ships began moving in complex formations that seemed random to outside observers, but were guided by calculations involving quantum probability states that only the networked human consciousness could fully grasp. The Arcanian fleet's attempts to counter these patterns became increasingly desperate. Their rigid command structure, which had served them well in countless previous conquests, became a liability against an enemy that could adapt and evolve within seconds. Every successful defensive measure they implemented was countered almost immediately by a new approach from the human fleet. In the Himalayan bunker, Maya watched the battle unfold with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The neural network was pushing the boundaries of what should be possible, approaching levels of quantum manipulation that bordered on reality alteration. Through their unified consciousness, humanity wasn't just fighting the Arcanians. They were rewriting the rules of combat itself. Energy spike detected in the Arcanian command ship, came the alert through the network. They're preparing something big. Marcus felt the collective focus of humanity's defenders sharpen. Whatever the Arcanians were planning, they would face it together, their unified consciousness ready to adapt to any threat. The next phase of the battle was about to begin, and humanity was about to show the galaxy that they were capable of even more extraordinary feats when pushed to their limits. High Commander Zarkax stood on his command deck, watching as his mighty fleet struggled against an enemy that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. The humans had pushed his forces back repeatedly, using techniques that no species should have been capable of developing so quickly. Now it was time to demonstrate why the Arcanian Empire had ruled the stars for 10,000 years. "Initiate the reality cannon," he commanded, his scales darkening with grim determination. "Target their largest concentration of ships." Deep within the massive Arcanian command ship, ancient technology awakened. The reality cannon was the Empire's ultimate weapon, designed to tear holes in the fabric of space-time itself. It had ended wars before they began, reduced entire civilizations to memory. No species had ever survived its deployment. Through humanity's neural network, Admiral Marcus Chen felt the massive energy buildup in the Arcanian vessel. The collective consciousness of Earth's defenders analyzed the quantum distortions, and for the first time since the battle began, they felt something approaching fear. They're attempting to create a localized reality collapse. Dr. Maya Sharma's thoughts resonated through the network from her bunker deep beneath the Himalayas. The weapon will essentially erase everything within its target zone from existence. But even as the threat registered, humanity's unified consciousness was already formulating a response. Billions of minds worked in perfect synchronization, pushing the boundaries of their quantum manipulation abilities to heights never before imagined. "All ships, execute Formation Omega," Marcus commanded, his order carried instantly through the neural network. Earth's fleet began to move in impossible patterns, their quantum probability fields interweaving into something new, a structure in space-time itself. The reality cannon fired. A beam of pure darkness lanced out from the Arcanian command ship, seeming to devour light itself as it approached Earth's forces. But instead of encountering ships and crews to erase from existence, it met something unprecedented. A quantum probability lattice created by the combined consciousness of humanity. "Impossible," Zarkax's science officer exclaimed. They're using quantum uncertainty principles to exist in all possible states simultaneously. The reality cannon can't erase them because it can't determine which reality they actually exist in. Through the neural network, Maya felt humanity's collective consciousness push even further. The quantum lattice wasn't just defending against the reality cannon. It was learning from it, understanding its fundamental principles through direct interaction with its effects. The weapon operates by collapsing quantum probability fields. Maya's thoughts flowed through the network. But we're not bound by single probability states anymore. We've become something more. Humanity's ships began to move again, but now they were doing more than just manipulating quantum fields. They were actively reshaping the fabric of space-time around them, using principles gleaned from the reality canon itself. The neural network had evolved beyond merely linking minds. It was allowing humanity to perceive and interact with the fundamental structure of the universe. Their weapon showed us the way. Marcus broadcast to all ships, human and Arcanian alike. "You tried to erase us from reality, but instead, you taught us how to master it." The Arcanian fleet watched in horror as Earth's ships began to exhibit capabilities that should have been impossible. The humans weren't just predicting probability anymore. They were actively rewriting it. Each vessel became a nexus of reality manipulation, guided by the unified consciousness of humanity. "Full retreat," Zarkax ordered, but it was too late. Humanity's ships had created a quantum entanglement field that encompassed the entire battle zone. The Arcanian fleet couldn't flee because space itself refused to cooperate with their attempts at faster-than-light travel. In the Himalayan bunker, Maya watched through the network as humanity's understanding of the universe underwent another revolutionary change. The neural network was processing information faster than ever, integrating the knowledge gained from the reality canon with humanity's already formidable grasp of quantum mechanics. "We're approaching a technological singularity," she announced through the network. "Our collective consciousness is evolving faster than we can measure." The battle had reached its breaking point, but not in the way the Arcanians had intended. Their ultimate weapon, designed to demonstrate their absolute power, had instead become the key to humanity's next evolutionary step. Through the neural network, every human defender could feel it. They were on the cusp of becoming something unprecedented in the history of the galaxy. Marcus stood on the bridge of the Hyperion, feeling the power of humanity's unified consciousness as it grappled with its new understanding of reality. The Arcanian fleet hung motionless in space, trapped by forces they had never imagined possible, about to witness the emergence of something they had never intended to create. The breaking point had been reached, but it wasn't humanity that had broken. Instead, the barriers to their potential had been shattered, and what emerged would reshape the galaxy forever. The final phase of the battle was about to begin, and the universe itself would bear witness to humanity's ultimate transformation. The universe held its breath as humanity stood on the brink of transformation. Through the neural network, every defender could feel it. The quantum knowledge gleaned from the reality canon was catalyzing something unprecedented in their collective consciousness. They weren't just linked minds anymore. They were becoming a new form of existence entirely. Dr. Maya Sharma's voice resonated through the network from her Himalayan command center. The quantum integration is complete. We're not just manipulating reality anymore. We're becoming part of the quantum fabric itself. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Admiral Marcus Chen felt the change rippling through humanity's unified consciousness. Their ships weren't just vessels anymore. They had become extensions of humanity's collective will, quantum constructs that existed in multiple states of reality simultaneously. The trapped Arcanian fleet watched in mounting horror as space itself seemed to bend and twist around Earth's defenders. The human ships began to glow with an inner light that defied spectral analysis, their forms becoming increasingly fluid and abstract. "What are you becoming?" High Commander Zarkax demanded, his voice carrying equal parts fear and awe. "Something your empire never imagined possible," Marcus responded, his consciousness now seamlessly integrated with both his crew and the quantum structure of space-time. "You tried to conquer us, but instead, you forced us to evolve beyond the need for conquest." Through the neural network, humanity's collective consciousness had transcended traditional boundaries of space and time. They could perceive reality in all its quantum possibilities simultaneously, existing in a state that made their previous understanding of physics seem primitive by comparison. The Arcanian reality canon, their ultimate weapon, now seemed like a child's toy compared to humanity's newfound ability to manipulate the quantum fabric of existence. Earth's defenders weren't just fighting anymore. They were rewriting the rules of reality itself. "We offer you one chance," Maya broadcast, her thoughts carrying the weight of humanity's unified will. "Withdraw from Earth, abandon your empire's expansion, and we will let you leave in peace. Stay, and witness what humanity truly becomes when pushed to its limits." In response, Zarkax made his final mistake. The Arcanian Empire does not surrender to primitives. "Fire all weapons. Full power to the reality cannon." The Arcanian fleet unleashed everything they had: energy beams, kinetic weapons, and the dreaded reality cannon itself. But their attacks never reached their targets. Instead, they encountered something that shouldn't have been possible: a quantum field that didn't just deflect their weapons, but integrated them into itself, learning and evolving from each attempt to destroy it. Through the neural network, humanity's consciousness expanded further, encompassing not just their defenders, but the very space they occupied. Ships moved like thoughts, existing everywhere and nowhere, their quantum states controlled by the collective will of their crews. "You still don't understand," Marcus transmitted as Earth's fleet began their final maneuver. "We're not fighting against you anymore. We're fighting for something greater. The next step in cosmic evolution." The human ships moved in perfect synchronization, creating patterns in reality that the Arcanian sensors couldn't even detect. Each vessel became a focal point for quantum manipulation, their combined effects reshaping the fabric of space-time around the alien fleet. In her bunker, Maya watched through the network as humanity's transformation reached its apex. The quantum knowledge they had gained wasn't just changing how they fought, it was changing what they were. The neural network had evolved beyond a mere communication tool, becoming a new layer of reality itself. The Arcanian fleet found themselves surrounded by phenomena their science couldn't explain. Space itself seemed to fold and unfold around them, probability waves collapsing and reforming in patterns that defied their understanding of physics. Their mighty ships, the pride of an empire that had dominated the galaxy for millennia, hung helpless in the grip of forces they couldn't comprehend. Your empire is built on the idea that technological superiority equals the right to rule, Maya broadcast. But true evolution isn't about building bigger weapons or stronger shields. It's about transcending what you thought was possible. With a thought that rippled through the neural network, humanity demonstrated their point. The quantum fields around the Arcanian fleet shifted, and suddenly their weapons, their shields, even their reality cannon, simply ceased to function. Not through destruction or force, but through humanity's newfound ability to rewrite the quantum properties of matter itself. Impossible, Zarkax whispered, watching as his mighty fleet was rendered powerless not by violence, but by fundamental changes to the laws of physics within their space. Remember this moment, Marcus transmitted to the defeated Arcanian fleet. Remember that you came to Earth expecting to find primitives to conquer, and instead discovered something your empire never imagined possible, a species that could evolve beyond the need for empire. As the Arcanian fleet retreated, their mighty ships limping back into deep space, humanity's transformation continued. The neural network had become something far greater than its creators had envisioned, a bridge not just between minds, but between consciousness and the quantum fabric of reality itself. Earth's defenders had not just won a war, they had inaugurated a new chapter in the story of intelligent life. Through unity, adaptation, and the catalyst of conflict, humanity had evolved into something unprecedented, beings who existed simultaneously in the realms of matter, energy, and quantum probability. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as humanity took its first steps into this new form of existence. The galaxy would never be the same, and the legend of Earth's defense would echo through the cosmos for eons to come, not as a tale of military victory, but as the story of how humanity transcended the very boundaries of what was thought possible. The cosmos had learned what true fear meant, not fear of destruction or defeat, but fear of facing a species that could turn any challenge into an opportunity for unprecedented evolution. Earth's doomed fleet had not just survived. It had shown the universe that the greatest power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the capacity to transform and evolve beyond imagination.